to the PI Podcast, your destination for everything NFL, discussing the latest news and providing in-depth analysis of every NFL game. And now, here are your hosts, Ian and Tesh.
What's up, guys? PI Podcast here. Uh, yeah, hope you guys are excited for football this weekend. Tomorrow, starting with the Sunday game, uh, Sunday morning. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Steelers, Vikings should be an interesting game. We'll go over it in a second. But how y'all doing? Appreciate you guys for likes and stuff. Um, yeah, Thursday night football was fun. Um, and I'm excited for football tomorrow. There's a lot of good games tomorrow. Ravens, Chiefs, especially being one. Falcons look to bounce back in Atlanta against Washington. Hopefully we do. I don't know. But we'll go over that and a lot more. It's going to be fun. Starting this week actually because of the London game, or well, the international games. I think that there's 3 or 4 weeks in a row now starting tomorrow morning that there's going to be morning games. So get ready for that. Get ready to wake up earlier and watch football earlier. So I usually like it just because it leads into 1 o'clock games. So you're basically watching that international game in the morning, and you basically have like 30 minutes of downtime, and then you're back to Sunday football for Red Zone. So that's a lot of fun. Um, yeah, Falcons wise, this was the Falcons last week before the bye. We have an early bye in week 5 this week, and then after that bye, we have 2 straight primetime games. So these next 3 weeks, you will not see the Falcons on Sundays, on the Sunday morning slate. So that's fun usually, but it's going to be tough games after the bye as well. So it's imperative that we do win this game against Washington at home as well. So it should be easier for us to get this dub. And then after the bye, we got 2 really, really, really hard matchups against the Bills and the Niners. So it's gonna be tough. If we can go, I don't know, if we can win one of those games, that'd be nice. But we'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully the bye will get some things corrected and stuff like that. So I guess it's a blessing in disguise that we got an early bye week. So AJ Terrell should be back after bye week too, so that will help tremendously that there's an early bye. So hopefully he stays healthy after he comes back for the rest of the season, because we did desperately need him. I'd say we're the weakest at corner, but our backup corners are decent enough to play, and our safeties are good enough to cover to be able to make up for the AJ Terrell's loss. So, and our defense has been playing really, really well this year, so I'm excited for that. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, just let me know. I have plenty of time, so. Thursday Night Football came and went. It actually the fourth quarter ended up being more interesting than a lot of people thought, because it was 20-6 at one point. The Cardinals were down 2 touchdowns, and it looked like they weren't able to do anything on offense. So yeah, especially because Trey Benson only had 35 yards rushing, they weren't able to get the run game going. They weren't able to get anything going really for most of this game until Martin Harrison made a big catch for a touchdown in the end zone, which was huge for them. That kind of sparked them, and then sparked them to stop the Seahawks, and they missed a field goal as well, which even sparked them even more, and they end up tying the game. Like I said, I think I said it last week before on Tuesday's podcast when previewing this game. They had to get Marvin Harrison Jr. going if they want to be able to win this game. And unfortunately, they weren't able to get him going throughout most of this game, which is a big reason why they lost. They were able to get him going late in the game, but not at all otherwise. Kyler had 2 picks. Both of them, I'd say, were on Marvin Harrison Jr. as well. The first one, Marvin Harrison Jr. sucked her out. Maybe he wouldn't have been able to catch it, but he might have been able to at least get a hand on it and deflect it to be incomplete pass. So as a receiver, you're never supposed to give up on your route, and Marvin Harrison did that. So and then the second interception, he dropped the ball and it fell into the defender's hands. So Marvin Harrison Jr. knew he had some mistakes, some costly mistakes. So that's why you saw him relieved when he caught that touchdown pass. But he had 6 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. He was the leading receiver. And he had 10 targets as well. So that's pretty good. Seahawks wise, the Seahawks look good. Like, they look like they can compete on offense. We weren't sure what Sam Darnold would be looking like on that Seahawks offense. Their offensive line isn't the greatest offensive line, but they are solid enough to give Sam Darnold time to be able to score points. If the Seattle's offensive line was a little better, was actually pretty good, then I think you'd be seeing the Seahawks being able to score 35 plus points a game, which is something crazy because their offense looks really good. Even with DK and Tyler Lockett gone, it's like they didn't miss a beat, or you got even better, which is crazy to say because DK Metcalf's not even on the Seahawks anymore, and he was a big part of that offense. He was their main threat basically. So JSN's fitting really nice there. Sam Darnold's playing well as well. He didn't have a turnover this week. I know the last 2 weeks he's had turnovers like crazy. But Sam Darnold played turnover free, which is good for that offense and helped them get a 20-6 lead in that game. NFC West games are actually they're really like tight games, but this one ended up being tight as well, but not until the end of the game. And then next week on Thursday Night Football, we got another NFC West matchup in Rams and Niners, so that should be a good one as well. Um, Kenneth Walker at 81 yards rushing. Um, Need to find him more towards the end zone, honestly. If I had to be honest, JSN had 4 receptions, 79 yards. He did not get a single catch in the first half, which is unacceptable. Um, Even if you can get him on a screen pass, or even if you can get him on a slant or a drag route, you have to be able to get your main receiver the ball. And the fact that they didn't get him in the first half is just why it was a tighter game in the first half. So get same for both teams. Get Martin Harrison going. You're gonna start seeing some results. And Seattle, you got Jack Smith Jinkba's got to catch a pass before halftime. I did not see that coming out of nowhere. Um, the thing with Arizona too, though, is they've never had a great offensive line. It's at least when Kyler has been there. So Kyler's never had the issue has had the luxury to have a good offensive line, and I think him being able to run, especially as he does, like no other quarterback can, it kind of gives the coaching staff and the team like misguided thoughts because I think over they expect Kyler to do more than he can, especially when running around the pocket. Because I think they see Kyler's running as an excuse to not have a good offensive line. Because I know Kyler can run around, but if you give him time, he's going to be able to, and like any quarterback, he's going to be able to find the open receivers, maybe even find Marvin Harrison even more, and get this offense going. Which is desperately what they need. They're 2-2 right now. They started the season 2-0, so coming off 2 straight losses. Seahawks come 3-1 now, so they're fighting with the Rams and Niners to be in that division. If the Arizona Cardinals can't stop winning, they're going to be in a big hole because that division is looking really tough right now, with 3 wins each from the Rams and the Niners. So something to look forward to. That offense for Arizona's got to get going. If they can't, then it's gonna be a lost season for them. And Seattle's got to keep scoring. Defensive line's got to get a little bit better in the run game as well. And you got to feed Kenneth Walker too in the end zone. But Seattle clutched this one up because Arizona looked like it looked like we were going to overtime with this game, which would have been nice. I think it's still crazy that Jackson Smith-Jigba had more rush attempts than he had catches in the first half. That was crazy to me. But Seattle looks good. Their defense looks really good as well. Throughout the past few years, they've been building that defense. In Seattle with key pieces from Pete Carroll that he built up on that defense, and it's finally paying out. And even though Pete Carroll's not on the team anymore, um, it's working out for them, and you can see it on this team. It's a big reason why they're 3-1 as well, because obviously Darnold drew multiple turnovers the past two games. So if you didn't have a good defense, it could have gotten bad. All right, so Seattle 3-1 now. Let us go to Sunday morning game. If you guys want me to talk about something specific, just let me know. But I'm just going in order, obviously, as always. So let me know. Vikings and Steelers start us off tomorrow morning at 9:30 on NFL Network. Actually, the Vikings are favored in this game, uh, and Carson Wentz looked decent. Looked like he was serviceable when he played last week. And that Pittsburgh defense finally looked like it was actually playing defense last week, which is good for them going into this game. The Vikings offense looked like it got a needed spark. And then it also helped that their defense was really, really good and is a really, really good defensive unit for this team. Yeah, Isaiah Rogers had like the highest PFF grade in PFF history at 99.9. I think I mentioned that last week, but yeah, he had an amazing game. Um, this game's gonna come down. I'm really, I don't know. In the first week, Aaron Rodgers showed he can get into an offensive shootout, but and I know it was the Jets, but the Jets have a decent defense. But the Vikings have a really good defense too, and they can rush the passer as well. They're injured a lot though, so that plays into the Steelers' favor. And the Steelers they looked like their defense was starting to get into shape. Their offense stumbled a little bit last week as well. Aaron Rodgers didn't have the best game. Excuse me. So uh, Sam Darnold's. I mean, not Sam Darnold. Imagine. Um, Carson Wentz needs to be able to find his guys. Need to find Jefferson. Jordan Addison should be back this week, so that's a great addition, help to the Vikings offense. I got to find T.J. Hawkinson. Like T.J. Hawkinson's a really good tight end. You got to be able to feed him as well, and I think Carson Wentz can be able to do that. And just how well are the Steelers going to be able to put pressure on Carson Wentz, force him into errors and bad passes? We'll see. That Vikings offensive line is injured, so T.J. Watt should eat. Um, that's going to be a big thing for the Vikings too. If T.J. Watt starts eating, could be a long day for Minnesota and Carson Wentz. They got to get their run game going too, as well. You're not always going to have a big defensive performance from one guy, and in general, the whole defensive team, you're not always going to get that. So every game is going to be different. Carson Wentz looks like he can lead this Minnesota team, and their defense has been playing really good. And also, Aaron Rodgers has been playing okay football for the Steelers, and their defense starting to turn up. I like the Steelers in this game. I'm gonna take the Steelers. I know Minnesota's favorite, and I know why their defense has been playing lights out, and Carson Wentz is getting a little bit of a rhythm with that offense. But I think in Pittsburgh, I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna and that defense is gonna make this one close. And I got the Steelers 23-17 or 2017. Yeah, let's do that. 2017 Steelers. That's what I got. Oh well. If you guys have any your score predictions or predictions, whatever, go ahead and leave in the comments, um, just so I know. And if you guys have your favorite teams, what you think, let me know. Next up, we got Falcons Commanders at Falcons. After a horrible performance from Falcons last week, we looked to come back and bounce back against Jaden Daniel and Scary Terry list Commanders. Yeah, Terry McLaurin and Jane Daniels are out for the Commanders, so that is big news for them. And Atlanta didn't look very good last week. against Carolina, and now unfortunately they have the same record as the Panthers, so they're tied for second. Don't know how, but it is what it is. Um, but the Falcons look to beat the Commanders at home. If we can get our offense going, we can win this game. Our defense is playing really good. I don't have too many issues with our defense. We got to contain Marcus Mariota. I know our defense for the past like 10 years or whatever, 5 to 10 years, if a quarterback can move, they we have trouble with it for some odd reason. Like Bryce Young isn't the fastest guy either. He just has a little bit of mobility, and we still had trouble. So we got to be contain Max Mariota. He's gonna run. We know how he plays. He was with us for a year. Played horribly for us. So I mean, you just got to force Mariota into bad passes and force his reads, and he will do that. So if the defense can do that and the offense can take advantage of short fields and turnovers, then we could win this game easily. But the Commanders do have a good defense. They are old on the defensive side and offensive side as well. The oldest team in the league. But I think we'll be able to get Drake London going this week, get Bijan going, get Kyle Pitts going even more. He's been really good this year. That's a good sign. And our defense got to keep doing what they're doing, even without AJ Terrell this week. So at least this next game we'll have AJ Terrell back after a bye, so that's good. This game is really close, like prediction wise for sports books and whatnot. But I think I'm gonna take my Falcons here. I'm gonna take the Falcons 23 to 17 here. It's 24 to 17 actually. 24 to 17. I'm gonna take the Falcons. I think we bounce back at home honestly against the Commanders. Marcus Mariota has been able to play good with that Commanders team. I think that offense fits him, but I think we can get the job done, especially if our offense gets clicking. Um, and I think Michael Penix won't have a bad game like it did against the Panthers. And it was inexcusable last week. I don't think that'll happen again. I got the Falcons here. Next up, we got Saints and Bills. This is probably the highest money line like odds I've ever seen for an NFL team. The Bills money line odds are in minus 1100. Look, I've seen minus odds being like minus 300, but minus 1100, that is overwhelming odds that the Bills are going to win this game, which is absolutely crazy. And good reason. They're 3-0 and the Saints are 0-3. And the Bills are playing at home. I don't think I got to say too much about this. Spencer Rattler been playing decent football, but this Bills team is going to be too much for them. I think the Bills may even put a 40 on them. So and the Seahawks put a 40 on them last week. So Saints aren't going to win this one. I got the Bills like 35 to 10, 35 to 10 Bills. And then next up we got the Browns at the Lions. Should be another interesting game. Is that the Browns defense can hold running backs. Like if you're a run first team, it is gonna be tough to run against the Browns defense. Their defense is looking really, really good this year. I know their offense hasn't complemented them, but the Browns defense looks solid. They could stop any running back in the league. They stopped Derrick Henry already. They stopped Josh Jacobs. Held them under 100 rushing yards. So, well, held Henry to 22 yards. So, that defense is playing for the Browns. If they just can get any offense going, this team could be 2-1 right now, honestly. So, uh, they're going in Detroit where Jameer Gibbs, Dave Montgomery. The Lions are coming off a good win against a great win actually, where Dave Montgomery and company were putting up the points against the Ravens. Yeah, and they were able to take it away after that big Derrick Henry fumble. Um, I got the Lions here. I know the Browns are capable to stop the run. It's just their offense just hasn't proven anything. You can't you can't if your offense is stagnant the whole 60 minutes of the football game, even if your defense is really good like the Browns did and how they beat the Packers last week, That's always not going to work, especially when you're going against a really high-powered offense against the Lions. The Packers weren't a high-scoring offense. They're just a feed, pick your poison kind of team. The Lions are a team that will feed their star players and they will put it to you to get their points, and they will score points if they can. I'm gonna take the Lions here. I think they're gonna win 20-10. Um, I just think the Lions dominate this one because they get enough pressure on Joe Flacco. He makes some mistakes, and he's just gonna check it down, so it's be easy for the Lions to tackle him. I will see how the Browns play against Jameer Gibbs and Dave Montgomery. I feel like they're gonna do good against Gibbs and Montgomery, so we'll see. But I still think the Lions are gonna win this one. Next up, we got Texans and Titans, two 0-3 teams, with one desperately needing to have this win. Otherwise, because their schedule, Texans' schedule looks rough. Let me pull up the Texans' schedule real quick. Houston Texans. Yeah, the Texans' schedule is like one of the toughest in the NFL. After the Titans, okay, look at this. After the Titans, the Texans play the Ravens, then they play the Seahawks, then they play the Niners, then they play the Broncos, then they play the Jags again. Divisional games aren't easy. Then they play Titans again. Could win again, could sweep them. Then after that, they play the Bills, Colts, Chiefs, Cardinals, Raiders, and Chargers, and then Colts again. So there's only realistically two Titans twice, and then every other game is basically a toss up. So this Texas team got to figure it out. Their offense cannot be as stagnant as one in Jacksonville and just automatically start getting momentum at the end of the game. It's just like the Cardinals. You have to be able to get your offense going, and the offensive line. I feel like they worsened it for C.J. Stroud from last year. Um, and this Titans defense, they'll keep they'll keep the offense in games, which is not looking good for Texans, especially because their offensive line's not very good and they can't get their offense going. It's gonna either end one or two ways. I think the Texans are gonna win, but if the Titans get enough pressure on CJ Stroud, and their line just crumbles, it's gonna be a long day for CJ Stroud. It obviously depends on Malik Willis and that offense if they can get going too. Calvin Ridley has been a big letdown for that team. Even Alec Iamaner, their rookie, is getting more involved than Calvin Ridley. So, look, the Titans offense looks fun. Malik Willis is a rookie. He's looking fun as well. I'm excited for him to develop. He's gonna keep developing. He's gonna keep learning. So that's always good for him. I got the Texans here. I think they're gonna win, 20-7, 20-13. I think the Texans take this one at home. They just got to click on offense. Next up, we got the Panthers at the Patriots. I can't believe it's already week 4 already. Damn, week 4. It's just like last week we were talking about kickoff week. But Panthers at the Patriots. Panthers coming off that big win against Atlanta. I the odds here. I don't really care about the odds, but the Patriots can rush the passer. They're one of the best pass rushing units in the NFL right now, and that's gonna bode trouble for Bryce Young with that injured O line. And I have a feeling that Patriots O line is gonna cause immense issues for Bryce Young. I don't think they're gonna get much momentum off that win last week. I think the Falcons just made so many mistakes for them against themselves. Like they hurt themselves so much that the game got out of hand. And I don't think the Patriots are gonna make that many mistakes against themselves. I got the Patriots here. Bryce Young needs to show he can be consistent. If Tim were here, he'd say, "Yeah, Bryce Young can't be consistent." But yeah, I got the Patriots here. I'm gonna take them 20, 21-10. I got the Patriots here, winning at home. I hope they get Trayvon Henderson involved. Honestly, Patriots need to do that. I'd like to see Trayvon Henderson get the ball a lot more. He is explosive, and he's a good pass catcher. So that's going to be really useful for them if they can get him going. Next up, we got Chargers at the Giants. Surprised this line isn't higher. They got Chargers -6, which is crazy. Um, and then the Giants starting Jackson Dart, so we're going to see Jackson Dart this weekend, which is going to be fun to see. I'm excited for that. Uh, but he's got a big test against the Chargers. I mean, there wasn't a good time to start Jackson Dart because of their schedule, but like he's getting put in the hole right away against one of the best teams in the NFL already, and one of the undefeated teams in the NFL and Chargers. Justin Herbert offense is looking really good. Jim Harbaugh, last year was a run first team, and he adjusted that this year because he wanted to play towards the strengths of Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert's strength is he can air it out whenever he needs to, and they're more of a pass first team this year, which I like, and which is why they're more explosive this year, and a big reason why they're 3-0. I'm excited to see Cam Scatterboot too. He's been a baller. He's been looking really good. Sunday Night Football last night, he looked really good. Russell Wilson did not look good at all, which is a big reason why they benched him and starting Jackson Dart this weekend. I could not tell you what was wrong with Russell Wilson last week, but Jackson Dart's coming in, and he should have a. It should be interesting to see what he does. I don't think the Giants are going to win this game. I think it's asking too much if you think Jackson Dart's going to uh, go beat the Chargers at home, a 3-0 team at home. I think that's asking too much. But this will start. This will help him see the field more, get some in-game action, actual regular season action too. So that'll be good for him. I got the Chargers winning here. Um, that Giants defense can get pressure, which is good, but they got to be able to stay consistently. They got to get their pass rush consistent. Like you can't let Patrick Mahomes just go around and maybe do his Mahomey things in the second half of last week. So Chargers, they're really good defensively this year as well. I think it's gonna be tough for Jackson Dart to actually move the ball a little bit. So he's got a tough test against Derwin James and that Chargers defense. I'm gonna take the Chargers here. I think they're gonna win 25-14. Uh, Look, the Giants defensively, the only real way they'll have a chance is if they get pressure on Justin Herbert and force him into bad throws, or just stop the run as well. But Marion Hampton starting, so it's gonna be a fun game though, especially since Jackson Dart's starting. Next up, we have the last 1 o'clock game before we get to 4 o'clock games. Eagles at the Bucks. Two 3-0 teams. This should be a fun one. The Eagles look like they found their passing game, which is gonna be is really good for that team because their passing game looked horrible the first 3 weeks of the season, up until late in the third quarter of last week. So uh, AJ Brown couldn't get going. Jalen Hurts had 50 yards at halftime passing wise. Only thing they could do is either run with Saquon, and if he got shot down, then they were screwed. Which is why the Rams should have won that game last week, but they didn't, unfortunately. Um, they're playing the Bucks at home. Bucks can play good defensively. Baker Mayfield can score when he wants to. Mike Evans is out, which is huge because they are losing a big cat pass catcher for them. So Puka will be the number one wide receiver. So we'll see if Baker can distribute the ball to his receivers at home. Um, I think the Eagles, Jalen Hurts and our offense figuring out their passing game is bad news for the Bucks. I think the Bucks defense not going to be able not have the answers for Saquon in general, and with their Eagles passing game getting going, I think it's going to be too much for the Bucks to handle. The Bucks Baker Mayfield will be in a shootout possibly this week, so it should be a fun matchup to look at. One of these teams will go to 3-1, so it's gonna be fun to see if Baker Mayfield can beat the Eagles. So it'll be a big test. I'm gonna take the Eagles though. I know they're away, but I don't think it matters. They found their passing attack. Got AJ Brown going, and if they can get AJ Brown going, then it's gonna leave Devontae Smith open even more. And that offense just has too many weapons to not be able to get that going. I'm taking the Eagles here. I think they're gonna win 30-23. That's what I got. 30-23 Eagles. Next up, we got some good four. Actually, all four of these games are actually really good. Um, Colts Rams will start with 3-0 Colts against 2-1 Rams, who the Rams should be 3-0, honestly. The Rams defensively, they look really good, and their offense looks good, which is why it frustrated me a little bit that they let the Eagles come flying back to be able to win that game, and the special teams blunder with two back-to-back field goals being blocked. That should never happen for a team. You should never allow be. You should never. The special team should not ever block two field goals in a game, especially when that last one is to win the game. That can never happen. So that special teams coordinator, whatever the coach is, special teams coach, they gotta fix that special teams unit on field goals. Um, you don't want Colts taking advantage of that either. They're a really momentum team right now. They have high momentum. They're 3-0. They're looking really good, really sharp on offense. That defense, the Rams defense is going to have another test this week. And the Colts, they're gonna have a test too. The Rams defense is really good, so we'll see if Danny Dimes can keep it going against this Rams defense and that pass rush. Just gotta get JT going again and get Michael Pittman involved, get all your receivers involved. Tyler Warren's looking like a beast and continuing his strong season as in his rookie year. So you feed Tyler Warren, feed Jonathan Taylor, should be able to win this game. Give me 1 second. Let's take a short intermission real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. All right, so Colts, like I said, they get their offense keeps going. It's my turn to a shootout because that Rams offense can put up points as well. So it's gonna be a fun one. I think it's gonna come down to Jonathan Taylor, his rushing yards. Like if the Rams can force Danny Dimes to keep passing, it's not gonna be good for him. If he doesn't have a complementary, balanced game, I think Danny Dimes they could force Danny Dimes to look like Danny Dimes from the Giants. So, but Danny Dimes is playing really good football, so it could be a really big shootout. But I think the Rams defense is really good, so I don't think it'll be a shootout, but it's gonna be a really close game. This one's tough as well to pick, but I got the Rams at home right now. I got the Rams winning 2017. Next up, we got the Jags at the Niners and San Francisco. And this would be a fun one. Trevor Lawrence and company coming off a win against the Texans, against the division foe. The thing about the Jaguars' offense is they can move down the field whenever they want. It's gonna be Trevor, as always. Trevor Lawrence. He's got to. He can't have inconsistent games. He got to be consistent throughout the season. I mean, week one he didn't have a great game. Then week two he had a really good game and they got mistakes with the drops and interceptions because of someone dropping the ball. And then last week, week three, Trevor Lawrence at times looked inaccurate. Interceptions weren't on him. There were multiple drops as well. and they still ended up winning that game thanks to their defense as well. So I, it's hard to predict this offense how it's going to go week in and week out because they're always something's going wrong either with the quarterback or with drops or with something going on with that offense that messes up their rhythm. And they can score, they can go down the field whenever they want. It's going to be either the quarterback or the drops that's going to always screw them up. The Niners are looking good as well. 3-0, even with Brock Purdy being out. Back Purdy is back for this game, so we'll see that Brock Purdy led offense again, which is nice. Mac Jones won 2 games for him while Purdy was out, so that's actually that system is really nice for quarterbacks, and that's the dream scenario if you're a backup quarterback. You're in a good system, you got good players. Christian McCaffrey, I feel like is gonna go off this game. He's gonna have a touchdown, like 100 yards rushing. It's slash receiving. He's gonna have like 100, 200 yards total, I think, from scrimmage. I got the 49ers at home here. I don't know what Trevor Lawrence we're gonna see, but fifth year you can't be inconsistent like that. And I said at the beginning of the year, this is prove it year, and if he doesn't prove it, it's time to move on. I got the Niners here at home. I'm gonna take the Niners 24 to 20. I think it's going to end up being a good game too. Next up, we got Ravens and Chiefs, which should be such a fun matchup. Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are always fun to watch. And these two teams are 1-2 right now. I don't think anyone expected them to lose 2 games already in the first 4 weeks of the season, first 3 weeks of the season. So that's where they're both sitting at. This is actually a huge game for the AFC. One of these teams probably will drop to 1-3, which is not where you want to be if you're coming off being the top tier highlights of the AFC, like the top teams of the AFC. The Ravens and Chiefs are the big dogs, and one of them is going to be 1-3 at the end of this game, which is why this is such a tough matchup. Lamar got to get Derrick Henry going. Derrick Henry can't fumble like he's had the past 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's got to stop fumbling. Lamar's got to get Zay Flowers going. I think it was really interesting last week. Uh, they didn't double team Zay Flowers. The Lions didn't. He was open all game, and Lamar just didn't see the field. I mean, Lamar crumbles under pressure in situations. He can be really good. I just don't know how they didn't get Zay Flowers involved last week even more because he was open. Lamar just didn't hit him. So Lamar will tell you that, and he'll probably say he missed some throws and he missed Zay Flowers being open. The Ravens, if they can get Zay Flowers going, if they get Derrick Henry going, their defense can stop this Chiefs offense that can stall at times. They don't look like themselves. The Ravens can definitely win this game. And the Chiefs, they're getting Xavier Worthy back, which is huge for them. Because now they'll have Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, and the offense going. We'll see how many reps Worthy will get. I'm not sure if he'll get the full reps this coming off the injury, but it should provide a nice advantage for the Chiefs, especially him having coming back. And then Rashi Rice should be coming back in a few weeks as well. So once that team is fully healthy and has their offensive players at full power, hey, who knows? The offense could get going for the Chiefs. But the second half of that game against the Giants, they found their offense got going, which was good for them. We'll see if they keep it up against the Ravens, but they've been inconsistent this year, the Chiefs, which is we've never seen before. This is another tough one. Chiefs are at home, so I'm leaning Chiefs. And I'm gonna take the Chiefs here. I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I'm gonna take the Chiefs 23-20. I think it'll be a close one, but I think the Chiefs win this one. Win this one late at home. Next up, we got Bears and Raiders. Geno Smith and that offense coming off another loss, which I look from the first week of the season. I thought their offense was going to be good. Geno was throwing the ball really well, and unfortunately, they dropped their games and got blown out kind of by the Commanders. which I did not see coming in, especially with Marcus Mariota being the quarterback last week. So the Raiders, their defensively, they're one of the worst defenses in the league. The only thing helping them out is Max Crosby and that pass rush. And other than that, their secondary is not very good. And now they're going against the Bears, who finally figured out that offense, which is not a good look for that Raiders defense. Because if Caleb Williams finds his groove and looks like that team last week that beat the Cowboys, it's gonna be a long day for the Raiders. The Raiders are at home. They're a favorite in this game by 1 point minus 1.5. Um, it's gonna be a tough game. If the secondary can't hold up, the Bears got too many weapons on offense for the Raiders to handle, and the Raiders got to keep moving the ball. Got to get Gianti going. If you can't get Gianti going, you're gonna be predictable on offense. I'd like to see a Gianti breakout game. It could be against the Bears here, because they have been susceptible. The Bears um, can sometimes just be the Bears and just give up like 50 points against the Lions, like they did 2 weeks ago. Um, but I think the Bears find their groove and Ben Johnson finds something that works for Caleb. I think the Bears win this one, honestly. I got the Bears winning 24-23. It'd be a really tight game. I think someone field goal is going to win this game. And then Sunday Night Football is a big one. Micah Parsons comes home to Dallas, where he got traded from. This is a if any storylines are a big thing for you, this is a big storyline. Uh, Cowboys fans might boo him or they might cheer him. Who knows? But Micah Parsons is coming back. The Cowboys are 1-2, and they're at home. They need to win this game to stay in the division race. And they go against the Packers, who took a tough loss last week. That Packers offense could not get anything going against the Browns last week, and their run game couldn't get going too well either. But I think this week Josh Jacobs will dominate the Cowboys, honestly, and I think their picked up poison offense will be really good. And I think Micah Parsons gets a sack or two on Dak Prescott. That's gonna be fun to watch if he does get a sack. I got the Packers here away. I got the Packers. I think they're going to win 27-20. I don't see the Cowboys being able to keep up because last week Dak Prescott was not able to keep up while the Bears' offense just kept going and going. Um, their defense is just not as good as they were a few years ago. Their line's still good, which should give Dak Prescott time. He just can't make any mistakes. Even with CeeDee Lamb being out too, that hurts that offense a lot. Can George Pickens pick up the slack from CeeDee Lamb being gone? We'll see. But I got the Packers winning this one. Then we had the Monday Night Football. We got a doubleheader here. Unfortunately, they're both games will coincide with each other, which I hate. I mean, just put one of these games in Sunday as a 4 o'clock game, or yeah, it's a 4 o'clock game because I just don't like primetime games overlapping each other because you can't watch both games at once. You'd have to have another screen or something, but I just hate that. Which is why I know a lot of people complained at the 10 o'clock game from week two's Monday Night Football. There was two games, one at 7, one at 10 o'clock. People hated the late 10 o'clock one, but I enjoyed it because I was able. I can You can watch the whole game, of 7 o'clock game and the 10 o'clock game. So I wish they did the same here. I don't like the 7:15 start for one game and 8:15 start for the other. I do not like that at all. They just need to either keep Monday Night Football with one game or do the 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock time. I mean, so yeah. But the Jets and Dolphins we got going on here. They're both 0-3, looking for the first win in Miami. The Dolphins offense, Dolphins Tua looks horrible. We all know that. It's a question every week. Can that offense get going? The Jets defense plays good football, so they might not be able to. Again, the Dolphins have another tough challenge. They can't keep consistently not being able to score when you have the fastest players in football. You can't not be able to score points. This is not how that offense is built around. And the Jets, Justin Fields is back, which is nice. Will provide a spark for their running game as well. Justin Fields, I expect him to run a lot in this game. Hopefully, he's as accurate as he was for week one. Week two was not good for him against the Bills. He only had a 27 yards passing, I believe, against the Bills. So That was like a really good high, really accurate week one to really bad low in week two. Um, so we'll see if Justin Fields can get it going. This is another tough one, but I got the Dolphins at home. I think they're gonna do enough to make Justin Fields turn the ball over. So I got Dolphins home. Dolphins win 20 to 17. 20 to 14. Um, Next up we got Bengals at the Broncos. The Broncos coming off a tough loss uh, to the Chargers. I think they got that like Chargers. They lost to the Chargers and they lost a tough one to the Colts. So they could easily be 3-0 right now. The Broncos could be. And they're going against the Bengals team that got demolished by the Vikings. Jake Browning did not look good at all. It's not looking good for the Bengals right now if Jake Browning keeps playing that way, but they still got Jamar Chase and company. That defense, oh man, that defense needs to play. That Patriots needs to get there, which has been a bright spot for them. Um, Bonick's got to get going like he has been. They can't lose another close game like that. But I think they'll take care of business at home against the Bengals. I got the Broncos winning with this one, 27 to 17. Yeah, and that's Monday Night Football. So there's my game winners for Week 4 of the NFL season. If you guys have any questions or wanted me to talk about something specific that went on in the NFL this week, do let me know. It's Q&A portion of the podcast, so please feel free to ask any questions or talk about anything. So yeah. If I had to pick the game of the week here, I'd probably go Colts Rams. Honestly, it is the Philly Tampa Bay game is close, but I think we're gonna feel the pressure of the Rams and Colts game because they're both fighting to stay alive in the division. The Colts got a little bit easier because they don't have they don't have the competition that the NFC West does have, but Colts want to keep winning, and they're away right now. So after being at home, I think that's gonna be a fun game though. Can Danny Jones keep Indiana Jones keep it going? We'll see. Um, and that London game, hope you guys are ready for the London game. Set your alarm clocks. At 9:30 a.m. Eastern, we're getting some football all day. That'll be a lot of fun. Atlanta wise, we have to get our offense moving. It's unacceptable to not move the ball against the Panthers. Like that's just unacceptable. Looking at film, like their Panthers defense is not very good at all. So there's no excuse why we couldn't move the ball, get score on them, and not get past the 30. That's unacceptable. Yeah, our damn Commanders defense is number one in pressure rate. Um, Number eight. We're number eight. Our defense wise ninth in passing efficiency, rushing efficiency 16th. Offensive wise, oh, pretty good pressure rate. Rushing's pretty good, and passing's not very good. Hey, we are top 6 in the league in penalties, so we don't have too many penalties. +1 turnover differential. It's good, but we gotta be able to score points. Falcons gotta be able to score. Michael Penix gotta get going. But we gotta change it up from pistol, honestly. I mean, pistol can work, but like just too predictable. We've got to switch up things up. Zach Robinson's got to do a better job, and we can't have that same issue. Like Penix has got to be decisive with the football. He's got to hit his targets because they were open. He just got to hit them. Penix himself will tell you that. I'm excited for this game. I think we're gonna win at home. Be 2-2 going into bye week, which is not bad at all. I feel like we could have been 3-1 at the end of the bye week. Going into the bye week, so we always lose games we're not supposed to lose, and we did that against the Panthers. So it's gonna bite us late in the season when we're trying to fight for division. So did it to ourselves again. So we'll see. Let me look at our schedule after the bye. We got two tough games, like I said. Uh, yeah, we're play the Commanders tomorrow. Then we have a bye week. Then we played the Bills and Niners on both primetime games. And then we played the Dolphins and Patriots, and then the Colts in Germany, in Dublin, I think, actually. Then we got the Panthers, Saints, Jets. Then we played the Seahawks, Bucks, and Cardinals, and then the Rams and the Saints. So got a tough schedule. Got a tough schedule after the bye week, so look forward to that. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. It should be a talk about any of your favorite team. You may ask about your favorite team. Go ahead, feel free to. Uh, we like to cover on the podcast. We like to cover every team, so that's what we try to do. Um, 31st in points. Okay, cool. That's kind of sad. Bijan is our leading rusher, and he's our leading receiver. Oh my goodness, that is not good at all. Bijan could have 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards this season. That's be actually absolutely crazy. It's actually crazy that Bijan's our leading receiver too. Kyle Pitts is on 150, basically at 150 yards receiving, so that's nice. Uh, if you guys want to ask any questions, feel free to. If you want to ask about your team or what I think about your team or how I think they're gonna do this week, just feel free. It's a Q&A session, Q&A part of the podcast, so feel free to comment in the chat. If you want me to answer anything about your team or whatever, talk about anything football wise or anything in general. Should be a fun week 4 of the NFL. So I'm just looking at the stats here. Kane Ellis is our leading tackler with 18. Xavier Watts and Jesse Bates are 117 at 17, right behind him. Sack wise, Zach Harrison's our leading sacker with 1.5, tied with Brandon Dorless. And Walker's got a sack, 8 tackles, 6 solo, 1 TFL. Kane Ellis has 3 tackle for losses, 1 pass defense, deflected. It's crazy. I still can't. Parker Romo's our kicker again this week, so hopefully he doesn't miss. I don't know. feel like we should have kept Koo, but now Koo's starting this week for the Giants, so it is what it is. Yeah, I appreciate y'all again for watching the pod as always. We'll be back Tuesday recapping week 4 of the NFL and looking ahead to Thursday Night Football next week. So thank you again for watching the podcast. Feel free, even if we're not live, just feel free to comment down below, ask any football questions, whatever. Be here to answer them. So thank you all again, and I'll see you guys Tuesday. Peace.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok @PI Podcast and on Twitter @PI Podcaster.